up going through with this and they do start restricting our internet, find out what you as an individual can do, what your rights are, find out what type of softwares and technologies that you're able to download, purchase, integrate into your life that will help you avoid these new complications that may come into effect.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's some chatter in the chat room about to promote your show or maybe your girlfriend's show or anybody else's. Are there shows that we could listen to that would be informative or that you think are high in standard?
I think that Revolution Radio would definitely fit that need. Unfortunately, Rage Radio is kind of more of a troll hour. But
it's a fun show then, I take it?
It is. It's an explicit show. You know, we definitely have a no holds bar about a lot of things. You know, we cover basically any topic about the week that just really pisses us off, and we go balls to the walls on it. So if you're not really into casual racism and various other things, that show may not be for you. But as far as Revolution Radio goes, it's a more dialed down and more informative show. You know, they definitely have strong debates, and they're a very intelligent group of individuals at times.
Well, that's great. At the bottom of my show, I always put, if you see being oversensitive, or if you use being oversensitive as a form of abuse, this is not the show for you. Because often I'll unintentionally offend somebody. There's people, well, I was offended that you said da-da-da-da-da, it's not the show for you. That troll show that you said, what was the name of it again? And can we find these shows on Blog Talk Radio, or is it a different site?
Yes, both of these shows are under the Revolution Network. It's you can find Rebel Show on Blog Talk Network by searching up Revolution Radio. The E in that is spelled with a 3. The other one is Rage Radio Inc., formerly known as Rage Radio Network. Both of our shows can be found on Wednesday nights and Friday nights. Times will vary by the hosts.
All right, that sounds good. My other caller, did you have a show you want to promote, or are you there?
No, I don't have a show.
I thought I would just check. I think there's been a few shows you like.
Yeah, I just check up on the shows and listen into, some intellectual conversation. Just try to learn, and I'll add, a little bit if I can, you know what I'm saying? So, just listening.
I hear you. Now, I will... Go ahead.
I was going to say, hopefully I was able to add, a little bit of my opinion to, give some people some insight on my end of the net neutrality ordeal. So I hope some people were educated. I hope they were at least inspired to do research on the matter.
Definitely. That's what I'm doing this weekend, and I will continue to do so. Learn more and more about it and see what I can do to protect the Internet that I know. And I believe one way of doing that is to call your representative or senator and find out what their stance on it. And some of these senators and representatives, they really, their knowledge of technology, like plutonium-238, we had a chance to harvest some plutonium-238. That's usually done when you, it's a byproduct of building a bomb. That's what's plutonium-238. However, they are not radioactive. Plutonium-238 is not a radioactive particle, and we need it for NASA, for the rockets, all those different types of technology that's meant to explore, and we need to be ahead in technology. That's my belief system. And I don't know, some of these senators and Republicans were touting plutonium-238 to be radioactive, which was a bold-faced lie. So find out what your representative or your senator, what they believe what net neutrality is. Have them define it for you. And once you've researched it and you know what net neutrality is and that's what you want, then tell them, yes, you're right, or no, you're wrong. And this is what I would like to see happen. because you're a voter, and they have to listen to the people. If they do not hear from the people on a topic, they will vote their conscience or whoever bought them. That's important. It's possible through Senator Al Franken that we can get a law to protect net neutrality. That site was just put up 20 hours ago. It's called Save the Internet, Save Net Neutrality. I put the link in the chat room. alfranken.com/E140125NN/. I'm not really good with technology, but to be honest, but I do like ideas. I love ideas. Ideas are good. And if you want to continue to be able to discuss ideas, I believe we all should take a look at net neutrality and what it means for us. Be it that you have a mom and pop store on Main Street, USA, or you're the college student wanting to express your ideas, or you're just concerned about freedom of speech. Freedom of speech usually pertains to the written word. We need to make this an essential item to be covered by the federal government, such as electricity and phones. The Internet needs to be included because it is a form of speech. It's a form of thought and free knowledge. I believe all knowledge should be free. And one way to protect it is to ensure net neutrality, as I see it at this time. If I see it differently, then I'll say differently. Do we have any closing thoughts? I know we haven't used up our whole time, but I feel we've really talked about this topic for quite some time, and I don't have anything more to add unless you guys do. Do you guys have anything more to add to the topic of net neutrality?
Well, honestly, about net neutrality, I think it's I think we pretty much covered everything that we could possibly have covered today on this subject. But it's not the end of the world. I don't want people to think that this is something that's, like you stated earlier, something ominous and just makes you feel like this is the Holocaust.
That's the way I felt. Oh my gosh, I felt so nasty and dirty. It was awful. I hated that feeling.
Well, when it comes to things like net neutrality, you can't be overwhelmed by what the government's putting out there and what these corporations are going. Hey, look, this is a possibility. This is what we can do. A lot of these people, they're really looking forward to seeing how the public reacts to it, and they know that it's going to cause an uproar. They know that it's going to piss people off. That's not what the entire agenda is. Ultimately, they're going to pump out this huge draft as to what it is that they may do. They're going to listen to the people respond, and then they're going to put out their real agenda after the fact, which will be nowhere near as bad as what it sounds like right now. It'll be completely watered down and will something along the lines be of, if you break our terms of service, you could get penalized, which is nowhere near as bad as, companies starting to throttle, smaller websites that are privately hosted and whatnot.
Well, I think those are all good and valid thoughts and all that. I will say that I've had news recently that I'll have Dr. Brian Hooker on next week. He'll be talking about a federal hearing on the vaccine court, possible that they may do away with the vaccine court. It's a federal court where vaccine injuries are heard. It's a closed court. It's not public. And vaccine manufacturers do not have to pay for the injuries that have been incurred because of them. The taxpayer pays for the injury. It's a really messed up vaccine court. You're not allowed to sue for damages to a vaccine manufacturer should you be damaged by a vaccine. So I'm very pleased to say that Dr. Brian Hooker has just sent me information that he will be on the air with me, I guess this coming week, not next week. This is a good thing. So I just wanted to add that in there. And I want to thank both of my guests and everyone that's in the chat room. Were there any other topics you guys wanted to discuss before going? Or?
Oh, no, I'm fine. Thank you.
I really want to thank you, Shadow, for coming in. I really appreciate that, and it's an honor to have you on here. I want to make that clear. that I consider it's an honor to have you on here. So, and of course,
you.
my nameless caller. Oh, you're welcome. And I mean that. I do mean that. And my other caller, as always, we don't name him. And glad that you came on, too. It was my pleasure. So
thank you.
I'll go ahead and close this out. I'm going to put you guys on mute. I want to again thank everybody for coming on. And I look forward to hearing from you tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Bill Wagner may be hosting with me tomorrow night. I don't know the topic. Maybe we'll explore this more or go on to something else. There's a possibility of that, going on to something else. And once again, I thank you. And Revolution Radio Show, thank you for being in the queue. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll promote your show on my Twitter. I'll do that. Because that's a hard one to have people type. Okay. Well, thank you once again. Truth Talks Radio is where every voice has value, even yours.